get going and get started. So I'm just going to hit record. Hey, Darce. So here's the thing. I'm going to show you guys sort of something that's been helping me a lot to simplify and just stay focused. And then I'm going to talk to you about leadership a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just screen share really fast, and hopefully you guys will be able to see this. So a lot of people struggle getting organized, and they struggle setting a schedule, and they struggle with working a schedule. I'm the same way. I'm very spontaneous. I like to not be tied down. I have a hard time when things are changing day by day because of my kids or my husband or my, whatever it is. So for me, it's never really been that effective to lock myself down to a specific time frame with specific tasks. So instead, what I've done, which has helped me a lot, which was sit down and write out the things that I can commit to without exception. And once I figured out what those things were, then I was able to sort of go in and organize them and create a little plan for myself. So I just wanted to show you guys this, and I'm going to give you a template so you guys can do it yourself because it really has helped me a lot. And I keep it on my desk, and every time I feel like I'm getting out of focus or off track, I can literally look at this and remind myself that these are the things that I've committed to do without exception. So regardless if I want to do it or not, or if I feel like it or not, or whatever, these are the things that I feel like I can commit to no matter what. So I broke it down, and I'm just going to show you guys mine because it's filled out, for example, and then I'll go ahead and, can you guys see this? Oh, and then I'll show you the template. So I broke it down into just basic things that we do as coaches. Obviously, we run groups. If you have coaches of your own, or if you do calls with your customers, there's certain calls that you do. Or if you have calls to attend every single week, that's where you would put these, the ones that you want to prioritize and do. I put the things that like my monthly non-negotiables. These are not goals for me. These are just things that I have to do no matter what to keep my business going. And then the trainings that I've committed to doing. All of you guys that have coaches yourself should have things in this category. So we can kind of walk through that, and then personal development. So I'm just going to go through and sort of show you guys what I'm doing, and maybe it'll help you give ideas on what maybe you can do more of, or things that maybe you're doing that I'm not doing, or whatever it is. So for groups, everybody runs their groups differently. And this is something that I really wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, because I feel like some people do really well with challenge groups, and other people do really well with accountability groups. And then some people do well with not doing either and just sticking with the challenge tracker app. So I just want to make sure that when you guys think about groups, that you're thinking about how you personally support and hold your customers accountable. How do you do it? Because it may not be in a challenge group or an accountability group or in the tracker. You might email people, text people, whatever it is, that's where this would go. So for me, I have my Body Camp, which is my main accountability group. My Fuel and Fitness is a new group that I'm doing for the UK, which I'm actually going to do a call with my leadership on Friday about. How many of you guys are interested in doing business in the UK? Okay, maybe this is something I should do for a team call. A lot of people are like completely clueless on where to start with this and how to do this. So I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm going to do. I created a 2-week challenge, which I'm happy to share if you guys want to use it. It's a 7-day meal plan. It's a 7-day workout plan from BOD. And then I did a bonus week. So every person in the UK right now can do Beachbody on demand. I don't know if you guys know that. We just don't get commission for it yet. So if you do have someone sign up for it, what I've been doing is having them sign up for the 2-week free trial first. And then hopefully when it launches in October, they'll upgrade it, and then you do get commission and you can actually coach them and do supplements and the whole thing. But for now, my plan is to do a 2-week challenge starting September 1st and then another one starting October 1st. And I literally, that's a whole different call. So I don't want to go too much into it, but maybe we'll do like a live and Team Lift, or I can talk about it on Thursday a little bit. Just how I'm finding people in the UK, because it's been more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh, just hashtag people in the UK and they'll like find me and it will be no big deal. The problem is a lot of them aren't using social media the same way that we do. And that's actually awesome news for us, because it gives us a giant advantage to break into a market that knows nothing about coaching online, really, or running a business online, and we can teach them how to do it. But at the same time, it's a little bit harder to find them. So I want you guys to know that I'm going to do a call about the UK before I start this group on September 1st and show you what I'm doing to find people. So that way we can all come together kind of as a team, and maybe we can all use that one group and use it as the Team Lift UK group for now. Do you guys like that idea? Does that seem like it would be a little easier? Okay. So that's what my Fuel and Fitness group is right now. I run a Wonderland group, which is for people that are 200 pounds looking to break into the 100 pounds. And then the other groups that I committed to are my coach group. So I have the Coach Liftoff, where I put my new coaches, obviously the Vision Factory, and then I have our Lift Leadership and Team Lift. Okay, so these are the groups that I'm in every single day that I'm running and that I'm committed to. Anything outside of this, and this is a really important part. One thing that was really frustrating me about trying to set a schedule and organize myself and organize my business was I felt like there were so many things that I needed to touch that I couldn't fit them all in. Like I was having a hard time like figuring out where to put all of them. So instead of trying to do that, what I did was I just put all the things in that no matter what, they're going to happen. And then anything else that I decide to add, what's my rule? You can always add, right? You can always add. So start as basic as you can. The calls that I are committed to doing every single month are these calls. These are calls that I do every single week. And they're the ones that I host. So that's what I would put right here, unless you are attending calls. And then I would put the calls that you're attending right there as well. So these are just the things that are my monthly non-negotiables, things that I do no matter what. They're not my goals. They're simply business tasks that I accomplish. These are the trainings that I've committed to do every single month. And then here's my personal development. So the personal development section, you may notice there's a lot of things in that. For me, I don't just consider reading a book for 10 minutes personal development. I think there's a lot of ways that we gain personal development. And there's a lot of things that we're doing every single day to improve ourselves so that we can help other people. So I want you to put those things in this section that you're doing, so you can not only recognize that, yeah, I may not sit down and read a book every single day, but I am doing these other things. I'm doing the National Wake Up Call. I'm doing the team call. You know what I mean? Because those things count and those things matter and they really are awesome. So looking at this, you guys, this is my business. Some people are like, Jace, what do you do? Like, what times do you work? Blah, blah, blah. This is what I do. This is my business. These are the things I've committed to. This is the stuff I do every single month. It's all right there. Okay. The second page, once I figured out everything that I needed to do that I could commit to, then I tried to break it down a little bit and make it easier. So I did the same thing. I can commit to work this schedule without exception. And it was kind of the same thing. I tried to put hours for each day, which I kind of put a broad range just because sometimes it changes. But I kind of put the flow of my business down, which was a lot easier to do once I knew all of the things that I needed to do. So it just kind of breaks it down a little bit. And, you know, I put things that I do with my customers and things that I do with my coaches in all of these sections. Okay. And then here's the last part of it. The vital behaviors. This I put on here just because for those of you that are just hopping on, I printed this out and it's on my desk. And when I feel like I'm unfocused or I don't know where to start or I'm having a hard time figuring out what to talk to my coaches about or my customers about that day, I can go back and I can look at this. And one thing that I've never shared with the team is my vital compass, is what I call it. And I was excited to share this with you guys because I think that it's kind of a cool thing and it really does help me tremendously. And I think that if you guys can adopt this part of it in your business, not only is our team culture going to grow and strengthen, but you're always going to have very clear focus in your activities that you're doing every day. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys because you guys all know the vital behaviors and you know the vital process, but do you have it in front of you every single day? Right? That's why this little sheet right here is so powerful, because when it's in your face, it's harder to forget, right? So I'm just going to go over this vital compass with you guys because this is what I look at. So obviously, like, I lead a big team of coaches and I hope that one day you will too. And I think that learning positive leadership is really important. And this is the majority of what I wanted to talk about on this call. But I call this my vital compass because we lose direction very easily in our business. It's really easy to get emotionally off track. It's easy to get your schedule out of whack when your kids are going back to school or when you're mixing jobs or whatever is going on in your life. It's really easy to get off track. And this always brings me back. And when I really feel like I don't know how to lead, or I don't know how to coach my coaches, or I don't know how to coach my customers, I come back to this because this is my direction. These are things that are just innate in what I believe and what I've built our team on. So as I read through these things, I want you guys to really think about to yourself, which most of you hopefully possess multiple ones of these things, just simply by law of attraction because you're on our team. But if not, hopefully some of these other things will ground you and maybe give you permission to let some things go and allow some things back into your business and your life. One of the things that I really believe in and really want to stress to everybody that I work with is that you have permission to innovate and do things better. So when you hear something, a process, a way of doing things, if it doesn't feel right to you, innovate it, make it better, make it yours, right? You have permission to do that at any point. And that's really important. Showing self-love is always a really big part of my journey and one that I try and share a lot. And I think that our team, if we can stay grounded to that simple, vital compass, then you work a lot easier every single day, and you have a lot more patience, and you have a lot less stress, and you are able to sort of just stay on an even ground every day instead of that roller coaster constantly. I think that our team is very forward facing, and I think that when you think about that specifically and you think to yourself, I'm faced forward and I'm looking into the future because everything behind me is all that's holding me back. When you think about it that way, like the only thing behind me is what's holding me back from the future. But if I'm faced forward, none of that matters, right? So facing forward is a really important one. It's something I say to myself a lot. Face forward, face forward, face forward. One thing that I love and that means a lot to me is I have a very innate something in our team that I really would like us to focus more on is just working to win. And I like this concept because it can mean so many different things to people. But when you're working to win instead of working to sort of, I wouldn't say lose, but not, it's kind of a team mentality that I took from sports, to be honest with you. There's a lot of teams, professional sports teams, that work to win. And every practice and every locker room talk and every pre-game, post-game, during the game, whatever it is, everything they do they work to win. And I think it's such a cool element to winning teams is just that work ethic to win instead of lose, right? And I think that specific part of our vital compass is imperative in what we do, because it's so easy to get off track and just try and tread. You know what I mean? So you're not like drowning, but you're just sort of surviving, or you're just sort of like managing everything and maintaining everything. But if you're not diligently working to win your day, to win your month, to win your week, to win your challenge group, whatever it is, it just changes the way that your energy flows into your business. One thing that I've been talking a lot more about is connecting more deeply with your business, with people, with yourself. That's something that you have to do when you are an entrepreneur and you own your own business. If you're not connected to it, if you're not engaged, then you don't care about it. And it's something that has to be maintained. It's something that doesn't just stay with you all the time. So I think that little reminder is really important. Integrity in all things has always been a really big part of what we do. I think the negativity and the things that creep in, a great example is just this rough little patch that Beachbody went through. Keeping that integrity in what you're doing and really trying to stay focused on what you believe is really important. And I wanted to give you guys an example of this because I thought it was so cool. When they started charging for bags on airlines, and everybody was like, what the what? I got to pay like $300 for a ticket, and now I have to pay $50 for a bag. Someone at Southwest in their corporate circle came to them and said, hey, all these other airlines are charging for bags. We should do that too. We'll increase our revenue by millions of dollars every single year, right? If you think about something so simple like that, an instant boost in revenue. It's like a no-brainer for any business, right? But the CEO of Southwest said, no way. That does not fall in line with what we stand for, which I thought was so cool. And I'm just going to read to you guys what their mission statement is. So Southwest Airlines, their mission statement is to connect people to what's important in their lives through friendly, reliable, and low-cost air travel, right? So when the CEO was presented with this idea that could potentially make them millions of dollars more every single year, but charge his customers more, he said, no, we're not doing that. And you would think that they would miss out on this giant revenue of opportunity, and they would miss out on this huge, thing that all these other airlines are doing. But instead, they held strong to what they believed and what they stood for. And because of it, they created this market share where all these people who were like, I'm not paying for bags, started to go to Southwest instead of flying Delta, and instead of flying JetBlue, and instead of flying all these other airlines. And all of a sudden, they were rich with this whole new customer base because they stayed true to what they believed in, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. One of the things that I loved so much about this was it's a great example that once you know what you stand for, decisions are easy to make. Once you know what you stand for, decisions are easy to make. And for me, that's what this list is. If whatever decision I'm trying to make doesn't fall in line with my vital compass, I don't do it. Because that way my business stays true to me, our culture stays strong, our coaches stay happy, and my business grows, right? But the instant that I let go of any of these things, I struggle. And one of the things that I have struggled with as a coach was to help people understand that you can succeed just because you can. Like, I think we have stressed so much, like, why we're doing this and why we want to go where we're going and why we want to succeed. Can't we just succeed because we can? You know what I mean? Like, can't we just have growth always in all ways? I love that so much, because for me, it is a constant progression. It is a constant growth. It is succeeding because I can. And so can you, and so can everyone. And I believe that. And that is why it's part of that vital compass for me. One of the things is show leadership and do your part. And whenever I read that as if I'm saying it to myself. Show leadership, Jace, do your part, right? And that's a self-check that I have constantly as well. Am I doing my part? Am I not just talking about it, not just showing it, but actually leading it, whatever it is? You know what I mean? Am I leading in Success Club? Am I leading in adding new customers and new clients? Am I leading in bringing in new coaches? Am I leading in my coaches advancing and getting better and building income and creating impact? Am I leading in that field, or am I simply talking about it and showing people what it is, right? There's a difference between that. One of the things that I have discovered is that fear will always be a part of success. It never goes away. What happens is you just get comfortable with it, and you're able to eventually show focus over that fear. Your focus trumps it. So you are fearful, but it doesn't matter because you're focused, right? So that's why focus over fear is one of those. And the last two are very important to me. Be humble and be grateful. Being humble takes your ego out of things. And when you take your ego out of things, everything gets better. Everything gets better. When you are grateful for what's going on around you and what you do have, you forget about the things that aren't going well, and you become a positive leader. You stop looking at all of the things that are going wrong, and you stay focused over that fear, and you lift other people, right? So this is really what I wanted to share with you guys, because this is a very integral part of my growth and what I've built my business on and what I've built our team on. And I feel like these are all things that I want my coaches to possess. I want our team to possess. And for me, it's been a really long time since whenever somebody would say, Jace, what do you want to be remembered for? Like, what do you want your team to be known for? And for the longest time, all I could ever think was, I want my coaches to be up on that stage as Star Diamond leaders and be leading in this industry and creating real impact, right? For me, that's always been my vision. But the more and more that I thought about it, and the more that I looked over this list as I was going through this little business plan of mine, that's really not at all what I work towards. My vision is so much more based around building a culture than anything else. Whenever I would talk about like having tons of coaches in Success Club or tons of Star Diamond coaches, it excited me, but it never really felt right 100%. It wasn't fully grasping what I really wanted. And what I really want is to have a thriving team culture. Because for me, culture trumps everything else. Your system is necessary. Your work and building activities are necessary. But all of those things can naturally happen in a positive environment when your culture is strong. When every single person that comes into our team believes that they can win, believes that they can succeed, right? And that's really what I want to focus on and work more towards. And I hope that you guys have noticed a little bit of that change in me, because that is something that it's taken a while for me to really grasp, but that is what I want. I want our coaches to be healthy. I want our coaches to be happy. I want them to do the things that fall in line with our vital compass. And this is what kind of business and team I want to build. So this is mine, and I can post both of them if you guys want so that you can see them as you sort of fill yours out. But I did create a simple template for you guys so that you can kind of fill it in yourself. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can just show you really fast. It's literally the exact same thing, but it's just blank. So you can print it out and you can kind of go through and fill this out. So it looks exactly the same. What things can I commit to? Can I commit to the following business plan? What groups am I willing to run without exception every single month? What groups don't change? That's what I want you to put right here. What calls don't change? What calls do you want to commit to being on every single week to help build your business and build your brand? What are your monthly non-negotiables? Your list may not be as long as mine yet, or they may be longer than mine, you know? But I'm telling you guys, the more simple you can keep it, the more positive you're going to feel about it, and the more capable you're going to feel doing it. And that's really what I want. So whatever it takes to get to that point where you can look at your business plan and say, if I had to give this to a brand new coach who said, Ashley, what do you do every day? You could say, this is what I do. Here's my plan. If you want to do the same things, let's go for it, right? That's what the goal of this was, is for every single coach in our team to see exactly what I'm doing and to be able to design a business plan to know exactly what they're doing so that that can be duplicatable. And it's something that's not like, I'm going to do this hour. I'm going to do this second. I'm going to do this minute, because every day changes, every single day. And I will tell you guys, people mature, people grow, people change, goals change. Pretty much everything is fluid. Nothing is really concrete. But when you can nail down the things that don't change, like your vital compass, like the things that you will commit to no matter what, because you feel them in your heart, things change. And all of a sudden, you forget about all this stuff that's stressing you out and you focus on the things that you love. So there's that page. I put down a little schedule if you want to break it down for your week. And then I included our vitals, right? And this is how I wrote it down for me. This is our vital compass. These are the things that I just talked about. These are our vital behaviors, which you guys know. And this is the vital process. This is what we do, right? If you think about it, this is who we are. This is why we are who we are, right? Because we invite, because we're products of the product, because we do personal development, because we do recognition. And this is what we do as coaches. We get people started with Beachbody. We get people results with Beachbody, right? We transition people to coach others, and we develop and mentor those people to help other people. Simple. This is something else too, you guys, that if you're creating a call or creating a training or creating something to teach your coaches or to give your customers, make sure that whatever you're creating falls in line with these things: our vital behaviors, our vital process, and our vital compass. And I promise you that your business will thrive. So I have this for you guys. You can print it out. I'm just going to post up the templates. There was a couple of, do any of you guys have any questions about that? Was this helpful? I don't know. For me, I freak out when I have to do too many things by the letter and to the T. So I wanted to share a couple of things. I've been reading this book that's amazing. That's honestly, you guys, one of the things that I've struggled with a little bit in this last year was when Mike quit his job. He's very numbers driven and I'm not. And so when someone's pushing numbers and you're not really numbers driven, things can get a little fuzzy. But this book is so cool because it's called The Power of Positive Leadership. It's by the same guy, John Gordon, who wrote Energy Bus and The Seed, if you guys have read those. But what's cool about it is that he's like, yeah, numbers are important and all those things are important, but he believes in culture first. And that's so in line with who I am as a person that like every single thing that I'm reading, I'm like, yes, it's like validating everything. Because for a while I was like, I'm just not cut out to be this. I'm not a good leader. I don't train people very well. Like, this is not my jam. But what I'm learning is every single person is different. And just because you lead differently than someone else, it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. Some of the most successful people in the world are people who built their businesses based off their culture. And there's so many examples in this book, and it's awesome. So if you're struggling in this area like I was, then I definitely recommend it. Do any of you guys have any questions about that? I see Jessica and Donna and Joanna are on the call, and Helen, but they can't see the screen. So if you have questions, I don't know how I would have you ask them, but you can ask me after. I don't know. So here's the last thing, and then I'll let you guys go. On Thursday, I'm going to be doing the team call. I'm going to do another Zoom chat, and I'm going to do it on the biggest lie that Beachbody coaches tell me. So you think about what you think that is, because it's going to be a really good call. So hopefully you guys will be on it. But if you guys don't have any questions, I'll let you go. It's 9:30. But fill out your business plan, post it if you want to. I would love to see if it helped you kind of simplify. And I love you guys, and I'll see you on Thursday.